Are we here now? Is it happening? Salima, everyone. Sorry about all that. The little speaker thing on your computer in like the bottom right hand corner, the little volume icon.
Yeah.
I just had it off. I'm over here like, what's going on? Why can't I hear Niki talk? I can hear myself. Like, it was just a whole big disaster. So I apologize for any of that. Welcome to today, Wednesday, July 30th, I believe. Moving right along. The event.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Rapidly approaching. That's pretty exciting. Believe it or not, okay. The sun is still in Cancer. I don't know where they're telling you it is. It's not wherever they say it is. It's definitely still in Cancer. Niki, I think next time, now we got to warn people, okay? But I think next time what we need to do in the thumbnail is put the wrong sign in, like the tropical sign, and see if we get, like, we can snag more people and can trick them into being like, oh, wait a second. They get on the call thinking it's like, I think we should give it a shot once, see what happens.
I think so too. Let's play around. Let's make stuff up like everybody else does.
Right. We'll just totally jack people's headlines and their what are those called?
Well, it is a little weird when you discover astronomical astrology and the precision and the like how accurate it really is. It makes it really, really hard to go back to the old way and be like, oh, this still means something. Like, I'm glad it means something to somebody. It's still finding like its healing place, but I don't know. Some of us are on a different frequency. We're operating on a different wavelength here.
Yeah,
that's all right.
It's a very nice way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how is the sun smack in the middle of Cancer treating you?
Oh, I wasn't even going to bring it up. Seriously, though, but Cancer season is living up to its reputation. The moodiness, the emotional stuff, the security issues. Like, for me, I just, I found I was like crying a lot. I was crying so much, my eyelids turned inside out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a root cause person. So I'm like, okay, it's okay to be sad once in a while. It's okay to have feelings and like work them out, purge them out. And that's really kind of what I feel like I've been doing. And the astrology, backs that up, but, I was like, I got to get to the root cause of this. Like, it can't just be because it's Cancer season. You don't just cry because it's Cancer season.
No, you don't, or else we'd all be crying if that was the case.
Exactly. Right. But the Cancer season stuff has been, I've been seeing the themes come up around like, death and family and connections and legacies and just a lot of stuff like that. And I'm going through like a big change in my life. I closed a huge chapter, and I'm like, well, what do I really miss about that? Like, it's good to grieve and it's good to like process those emotions. But it got to the point where I'm like, well, what is it? Like, what is it what I'm holding on to? And it's just like, it's the family stuff, I was like, so Cancer themed. Like, I miss like having like little kids running around my house. I miss like that kind of stuff, which is crazy because
you got time, Niki. You got time if you really want it.
I know. Actually, I just had a doctor's appointment and she's an OB. So of course she's like encouraging me. Yeah. I was like, you just want to stay in business. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, don't worry. I don't know about that. I don't know about that yet, but it's real. And I think as a mom, I got the empty nest syndrome going on, all my kids are grown up. They're super independent. They all have different lives. And yeah, so Cancer season, it's been about, for me, like just confronting a bunch of like really deep emotional like things and working my way through it. Ew, it's wah.
It has.
I know I'm not the only one.
I'm sure. Yeah. And again,
well, everybody deals with things in their own way, like,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually we're on opposites. Usually when I'm like, wah, wah. You're like, well, I'm blissed out over here. I'm just having the best time in life. Yeah. And I love that.
New, like I'd say it runs me about a week. By the way, hi everybody. If you're just joining us, Astrologia cu Lauren Q Nedelia. That sounds like it's supposed to be. Yeah. Is that French? Is it supposed to be? Is it a transliterated Russian? I don't know. I can't tell. But hello, welcome. Yes, this is Stellarium. Yeah. I have been, and like I started to say, it's been taking about like a week. I've noticed, maybe a little bit less, where in my meditations I keep reaching this different level, where it's getting to the point where I'm really struggling to put things into words anymore. I need, the best way I can explain things is through geometry and
symbolism.
I don't even think math would cut it at this point. Like, I don't think there's equations to write some of the stuff down. But I do think that the Cancer energy, that's one of the things that we would look for the new moon in Cancer. Any type of meditation somebody does, it's definitely like you're able to just go to a different level anyways. So anybody can do those things that kind of suck at meditation. There's a month to go about it for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I've been avoiding meditation actually, because all of this stuff, like the sun and Mercury retrograde, that's all been in my 12th house. And I'm already getting hints dropped as to what's going to happen like in the next few months. And I don't like that, because like it's change that is expected, but I don't know. Just like, I don't know if I want to see anything. And like, anytime I meditate, my guys, they're like, oh, this is finally we can talk. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I avoid those guys playing, because
I don't talk to my guides during meditation. You don't got to talk to them.
Oh, they just show up. They're like, hey, this is it. This is what you're seeing. And like I slept like almost 11 hours last night. You guys.
You probably needed
like
it.
11. Yeah. I needed it, but I dreamt. I had like just the biggest vivid dreams. Like it was like a movie. And you know, in your psyche, sometimes you'll visit like a house, and you'll have like this house that you go to. There's always like a house. Well, my house like burned down a while ago. Like my house got destroyed a while ago. And I've been looking for a new house in my dreams. And I moved, and I don't know where I'm at. I might be like I don't know where I'm at.
You're talking about Dream Niki, right?
Dream Niki. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dream Niki moved. And I started at a new school, like,
okay.
You know how you had to have dreams about being in school?
Yes.
Well, now this isn't like an elementary school. It's more like a college. So I'm like, oh, there's like this level of emotional maturity. These lessons
moving up in the world.
Coming up. Yeah. So there's a shift. There's a big change. And, I can see it. I can feel it. And, it's at that point too, where, we are examining family ties, family connections, and all of those things, those deeper relationships that we have. And my dad, I take care of my dad. I see him like every week. And we've had you could write a book about that relationship, but he's starting to get weird, and he's starting to get like, I'm going to die soon. So you're going to have to start coming here and like cleaning my house out. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk like that. You're going to live like another 5 years. I know it. But I don't know. I'm starting to get the vibe, and I'm starting to feel weird stuff off of him. And I'm like, and my grandma's been around. So I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe there is something to what he's saying. And he's always
Cancer's a good medium sign too, or mediumship sign. That's one of the things
it really is. It is. Yeah. It's a really good connection to God. That's the gate. I mean, it's the connection with God, spirit. Whatever you want to label it, universe. Right. Some people get real specific. I don't know how to describe it. It's more of like a feeling for me than something you could actually put into words. But it's definitely been initiating a lot of weird things, but that's kind of the energy right now, that Saturn Neptune conjunction has been weird. I've been seeing people having complete mental breakdowns online talking about like, what's the point in going on with this spiritual path I'm on if all I'm doing is like, it's all joy, it's all this, it's all that, and then not focusing on like, and you don't want to dump yourself into the shadow side of it and live in that negativity. So like I'm seeing the unbalance in other people. I'm seeing all the weird like secret stuff coming out, secrets and crazy shit coming out. Stuff that's just absolutely like some of it's straight up just disturbing. We have my boss and I, we're weird spiritual people. Like people just come to us and tell us things. And he recently had somebody come and dump some really heavy things on him. And he's looking at me like, come save me from this. And I'm like,
like, what do I do?
Yeah. How many times have I been in this situation? And you're like, see you later. But then later he came up to me and traumatized me over what it was. And it was horrific. So I was glad I got to skip out on that one.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's a lot. I mean, we're talking about a lot of deep, sensitive things. Like, and everybody's got something that they're going through, whether they're outward with it or not. I just find it really cool when astrology is astrologing. And Cancer season, you're seeing all the themes pop up in people's lives. And they're like, oh, this is just I don't understand how you can read energy like that and then attribute it to what, Leo, Leo, just dramatic, it's just this, it's just that. It's completely different. Just had Mars rolling through Leo, and it was actually quite pleasant, I thought.
Where's your Mars normally?
In Aries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think those
I don't know. It was rolling through my first house, and like I had some accidents and I got hurt. My foot is still effed up. Like I got a fracture, and I don't know. I don't know if it's a fracture. I don't know what it is, but I should have actually asked my doctor about it. But she is just an OP, so I don't know. I don't think she was like, "You're doing great." We had a big long combo. So.
Oh, that's good.
I should have asked her about my foot, but yeah. So like the whole like Mars rolling through my first house. Yeah, there was a little accident prone. I fell a couple times. Yeah. So there was that, but other than that, it was all right. It's moving into Virgo.
Moving into Virgo now. Yeah. That's a
how does that feel for you? Because you have planets right in the beginning of Virgo, like sort of in the beginning, first-ish degrees-ish of Virgo. And
feels pretty amazing
over that.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Every day is a great day over here. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you've got a cool Mars placement. I'm a little jealous, actually. Mars
is my Mars in Sagittarius?
Yeah. I love that.
Right. Yeah, it can be good. It can also be bad. I repressed a lot of emotion for the majority of my life. I only figured that stuff out maybe like 4 years ago, and I finally started letting it out. Definitely a plus. I probably still am sitting on some of it, but some of that Sagittarius energy can make somebody too good at managing things. And so they micromanage, and they, anything that's uncomfortable, they just don't deal with it. They're, it's just out of there. So that explains a lot of the optimism that does come with Sagittarius. I don't think that is erroneous. I think that it actually kind of works out that way. But so this one will be interesting though. Mars is just now going into Virgo. I'll have to see, because in the Mesopotamian side of the equation, Mars is going to be a lot of sensitivity. You combine that with the Earth Mother, the physical body, the home. Now we start to intensify some of the like the actual physical sensations. Some of that can be emotional. Some of that can be more sensitivity to toxicities, things in the, you know, the food, the environment, the water, whatever. So it could be an issue as it starts to move farther in. So far, it hasn't been quite as much for me. Do I want to, when did it actually start going in? Hold on, let me see here. Back up. So just like last week, right? I mean,
yeah,
you could
just
kind of make the
recently.
case it's still, it's kind of, we're still on the tail, just like a few days ago. Yeah, so I'll have to see. I'll have to get back with you. We'll catch up next week on that and find out.
Yeah.
Astrologia from Romania. Okay, so yeah, okay. There were hints of different languages, and I could have figured out.
Nice.
Yeah, it says, I'm a Hellenistic astrologer, but I'm also attracted by Sumerian and Mesopotamian astrology in general. By the way, I'm from Romania, not France. We actually would love to talk more to you. We need more Hellenistic astrologers to consult with. Regardless of your experience level, we would love to talk to you. Please email us. You can get a hold of us through either, well, all of our contact information is in the video description, but like we had a Hellenistic astrologer, Maria, she was going to be on our panel for the event, but she had to jump off, and we would kind of like to have like more opportunities for more takes. I'm not sure how your English is, if you'd be comfortable like having those conversations, but for sure, like get a hold of us. My email is SumerianAstrology@gmail. Nikki's is Revolution with a B, astrology@gmail, and then our ISAA information, like info@Sidereal International. Like there's all kinds of stuff. All of the stuff is in the video description. So definitely reach out to us. We'd love to get your like more feedback and stuff on that. So what were we talking about, Nikki? Oh, Mars moving
we've been everywhere.
Jupiter.
We're kind of Mars. I've been
Mars moving
Mars
into Jupiter.
actually.
Yeah, we've had other stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, God, we got this week, I think, Venus and Jupiter. Do they come together, or are they coming together more along? There she's still.
We still got to, I mean, yeah, probably already by end of the first week of August.
By the full moon,
yeah.
Then. Yeah, by the full moon. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that can be a really good thing. I think it can also, show up as not so good. I mean, if we're looking at like mundane astrology, if we're looking at how it affects the world, I mean, I think on the outside it looks really good. It looks like good negotiations, diplomacy, all that charming stuff on the outside. But I mean, I think it can be like superficial too. I think it can act like in a superficial way when Venus and Jupiter get together. It can be a little fake, maybe.
Think so?
Just like, well, it's just my own way of interpreting it, I guess.
What,
I mean, it can show up that
why?
way. I mean, well, because in think of it more of like a keeping up appearances than fake. There's this Jupiter is a lot about, well, looking at the world. I mean, it's a lot about law, religion. You got Venus, that's like business and relationships and things of that nature. And in Gemini, it can be a little weird. I think it can be a little weird. It can be a little, in Gemini, we know that there can be like hidden things, hidden feelings, hidden stuff. I don't know. Sometimes Gemini doesn't always tell you how they feel. You don't always get the full picture in Gemini. That's where it's coming from. It's just, I always like to look at the shadow side of things too, because it can show up that way for other people. You read a lot of really, really good things about Venus and Jupiter, and I think it's great, but I've experienced some negative things, with Venus and Jupiter. So I try to just.
Oh yeah. They all have their good and bad. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's just what I'm saying. I think, we're seeing in the world right now, you know, it's hard to say, oh, the world, but the United States is like renegotiating tariffs. We're talking with a lot of different countries. It affects the economic, you know, layout of the world right now. So I think we're seeing things change. It's also, you know, an aspect with, you know, a square aspect with Jupiter is with Saturn and Neptune. And I mean, those two have just been strategic in, you know, what it is that it's dissolving and getting rid of and reforming, reshaping, you know, everything we've thought about around, you know, structure and authority and government and, you know, limitations and boundaries. I mean, it's flexible right now. So, I mean, we're seeing a lot of change in the world, and that's how it's showing up. You know, Jupiter and is ruled by like Mercury. So Mercury has a lot to do with like, you know, negotiations, business, commerce, like that kind of stuff too. So I'm looking at it from that perspective there. I don't know. What do you think? I know like Jupiter's a great partnership planet. You know, Venus is about, you know, love and relationship and values too. So I don't know. Well, I was just looking at how it's showing up for the world, but it could show up in a few different ways for
sure. I should preface this with everyone should know that I have no idea what's going. I haven't even been watching funny cat videos on YouTube anymore. Like nothing. I have no contact with the outside world except the times when I have a call or, you know, we have this conversation right now. So unless Niki tells me something's burning down in the world now, I don't even know. So factor that in. But what I do know is that, and I've written 2 articles. The second one about the sun in Cancer doesn't really go into it as much, but the one prior to that, when the sun was in Gemini or the new moon in Gemini, they're on the ISAA website, Sidereal International. Just go to the blog, you'll see them. But I do something of a deep dive. It's not, you know, too wordy or anything about how these 2 figures right here are guarding the gates of the underworld. And they're just versions of the god of the underworld, Nergal, but they're him more in like his brotherly love, you know, comrade type of vibe. And so they're much more emotional, but also very protective. But what's interesting is Venus, who is Inanna here, she has an epic story, one of the most celebrated in all of the humanities, like as far as we know, like writing one of the oldest stories that we have, where she quote unquote descends into the underworld. There's a whole, I do think that the translations are very biased. Regardless, she goes into the spirit world. And in this process, she has to go through these different gates. There's like 7 gates, and she has to keep taking stuff off. She's got to take off clothes. She's got to take off jewelry. She's got to strip off her divine powers. And when it's all said and done, she's basically a dried husk, and they hang her up on like a hook, and she's just left completely lifeless. She's there for 3 days. Enki sprinkles the water of life back on her, reanimating her, and she resurrects from the dead after 3 days. So, you know, wink, wink.
That sounds so familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So her entering in between these 2 guardians of the underworld, this is like her going into her descent into the underworld. Now, what's probably going on in that story is it's a reference to when Venus, her heliacal setting time, like when they stop seeing her rise either above or beneath the horizon, like she's disappearing. So like Venus comes out of view. We can't see her in the morning or evening skies anymore. But this still is a representation of that. And as such, this can be, now again, depending on where your placements are, this could affect you more or less or a little bit differently. But Venus entering this position can be what we would consider like a dark night of the soul, okay, where we are stripping our higher emotions kind of bare, like we're getting down to this really, really deep emotional state. Now, what's interesting is right as she hits the middle of brain freezing Gemini here, yes, that's the one. She is also conjunct with Jupiter. So her descent into the underworld is technically, she's moving in here in a cyclical way, in an energetic way with Jupiter. Now this was Enlil. He was it's basically like her grandfather, essentially. So he brings with her this very paternal, very protective energy. And so we have this could be, and again, it's really, I want to preface this, we're talking about all 8 billion people on the planet. How this affects individuals is going to be a little bit different for everyone, but it could end up being a very withdrawn time, or even a very guarded time, or like having to really process some of the deeper emotions, whether that is, heartbreak, trauma, like deeper, more significant, more important things. Now, this will continue throughout her venture, at least through the middle of Cancer. And then when's her next retrograde? I don't know. She's going to hit. Okay, so
I don't think she goes retrograde this year, the rest of this year. Hold on. I wrote it down.
I believe you. I totally trust you. By the time she gets into Leo, though, she's resurrected by then. So whatever that period is, but this August period in general is going to be very interesting. That's really where most people, if they're going to feel this, that's when that's going to happen. This can be even though technically she's going into the underworld, which is not a comfortable situation. She's got to strip off all the layers and, deal with do her shadow work, essentially. She comes out of it every time she goes into the underworld, which there's another story. She goes into the underworld. She eats from this tree of sexual knowledge, and she gets all the knowledge. She becomes the master of all like the sexual arts and whatnot.
That sounds
familiar
awesome.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So like she goes, her journey into the underworld does yield spiritual power, knowledge, wisdom. So it's not a bad thing. It's just a process. It can force us to kind of confront who we really are. And like, we can't hide from ourselves. It really strips us bare, and we have to deal with that. But Jupiter, again, like I said, and Leo, he's going to be giving that, like looking over her, having that protective energy. And generally it should overall be like a benefit, like a net benefit to everybody. Jupiter's not always beneficial, by the way. I agree with you, Nikki. Like, they all have their good and their bad stuff. He in particular, he can be, when he's pissed, he can be real vindictive. He can, he can go all in. And he can be kind of overbearing at times, maybe a little pushy. But this is just going to intensify that energy anyways, the emotional energy. And again, this is in the Mesopotamian system. Can't speak for everybody else's stuff. I'm not sure how that would work. But overall, I would say it's going to be interesting. And this is one of those things where it really does depend on the natal influence, because it can go in a few different directions. So that would be my take on it. Trish Farrell says, my Jupiter is in Cancer in the 8th house. Yeah, you guys got till next year. We got till June of next year before Jupiter goes into Cancer. So you got some time.
Yeah, I love a Jupiter return. I wonder, like, do you have a lot of like intuitive hits, Trish? Are you like super like into the psychic stuff? I'm just curious, like just things just pop into your head and you're like, oh, I don't know. 8th house.
Strong Cancer definitely has a mediumship bent to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a Pisces 8th house, and I've got Saturn and Neptune working me over there. That's why I was like, man, they are just so strategic in what it is they're deciding to like eliminate out of life and out of your path. And I see it as very strategic. It isn't just this like, oh, like we're just dissolving all these boundaries, all this shit's just happening and there's no plan behind it. It always seems like there isn't a reason for this and that. And then we can get into some kind of, victimhood, theme story. But I think, with Saturn, we always have to like exercise patience and just see where this is going. I've even looked ahead at like the Saturn Jupiter cycle just to see like where is this headed, but it's just I'll save it.
Where
for
is it headed?
Time.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, they're in their first quarter phase right now. So there's things that are pushing forward and moving forward that just don't really seem like they make a whole lot of sense, right? When it comes to like government structures and all of that. And you got Neptune involved. So of course it's just like, what the fuck? Like this just doesn't like make sense. But when it reaches its peak in opposition, Saturn will already have moved into Taurus, and Jupiter will actually, it'll be my Jupiter return. It'll be like right in the middle of Scorpio. So yeah, I looked at, I just haven't like really looked, but I'm like, oh, okay. That's where we're headed. We're going to get into that Taurus Scorpio axis. Sounds fun. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. So I don't know. That axis right there is pretty, like, it's always been kind of messy for me personally. So when I look at it, I can't not project my own like feelings and bullshit onto it. So I have to look at it a little bit differently, a little bit more objectively at another time. But it's leading towards something, guys. And it's going to be, I don't know. I think super weird. Definitely.
Trish said weird. Yes to the weird psychic stuff.
Yeah. I know. You know what? I've always had weird psychic stuff. I've always been living in like the spirit world and got one foot in each one.
And what do you have in Cancer?
I don't have anything in Cancer. Yeah. I just have.
I think you did.
Yeah, but I do have Jupiter and Uranus conjunct.
Oh, you got all that Pisces too, though. Yeah, you got all the
Pisces I got stuff. All that Pisces stuff. It's just, it gets like, messy, you guys, like messy and yucky. And I've always tried to like get a hold of it and get my hands on the reins and like direct it. And I've just never really figured it out. It's just kind of like chaotic. You know, stuff hits you and you're like, oh, where did that come from? And it isn't until later you're like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, I should have listened. Well, because it's like when we talk about psychic stuff, when we talk about those things, it's like symbols and dream like stuff. So like what means something to you doesn't mean the same thing to somebody else. So
right.
That's why I've always had the hardest time giving psychic readings, because like what means something to me, like, I don't know. I just need to know that it's right. And I don't have the confirmation it's right until after the reading, like psychic readings. So I don't know.
My take on that's always, I did a lot of psychic work with people's spirit guides. So I just had them tell me whatever. And then I just passed it along. And if hopefully it made sense to them, which it did. So then it worked, but.
Yeah. I know you're like, and it did.
Yeah.
Every time. I know. I think it's just you get nervous. I get nervous. I'm not like super confident with my psychic abilities.
It is stressful.
It is. And what if you're wrong? Especially if you see somebody dying and it's like it's just a big life change, big transformation.
I've never seen that.
Not gonna be like,
I'm not saying that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like when my dad's wife. Oh, like when my dad's wife was
go ahead.
Talking about dying, and I did a meditation and I saw all of us sitting underneath a tent in the cemetery, and it was so fucking hot out, and so freaking hot out, and and I was like, well, this is it, and then so I knew she was gonna pass away in the summer.
Okay.
And then she did. She passed away in July, and
that came through in a dream.
It came in a meditation. And
okay.
And I was like, well, at least the tent isn't there, so like it can't be real. And then and we pull up, and they're just setting up the tent for us, and I'm like, you see the trees. Every day was so weird, and it freaked me out. Actually, it freaked me out. I was like, I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah,
like, there's just some things that you got to live with. That when you do this kind of work, and some things you just know that other people don't. And it's just, it's weird. And you can't, like, I can't talk to people about this stuff. And I talk to you, but you tell others and they just get, like, when I was younger, I would get you better watch what you say or we're going to take your kids away from you. Like that kind of stuff. Like, you're too weird. You're too out there. Like, you shouldn't be around. Like, what? Over psychic stuff? It's just because the people I was around were super uber Christian, scared of everything, do everything the right way, even though they didn't know what the right way was. It was just weird upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very Catholic.
That's how
that'll do it.
For sure. Yep, yeah. Sure will.
Very about control. Don't make me uncomfortable. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of some of that too, I think when I would do readings or like psychically work with people, it was under a very controlled setting. I was not open to I was looking for specific information and I was probably not open to just like random stuff coming through. But I think that's also why I was really good at very like health readings, finances, money, like very practical, down to earth stuff. The more, like mediumship and stuff, like I did it, but I'm not anywhere as close to my mom, but she was open to like any crazy stuff. And she would see those things. Like she did see people die. So I think that goes back to like psychic abilities are very, it's like anything else, like artistic ability. There's not really two specific types of artists. I mean, everybody's got their thing, So it's probably a little bit like that too. Now the dream side of it, my dreams are so messed up. They're so bizarre, so crazy that I couldn't trust any I see stuff all the time that ends up happening, but it's like little stuff, but I just don't, I can't put any stock into them unless there's like a feeling. What I do get though, I do get a lot of visitations from people who have died or animals or pets or whatever that come to visit during and it's them, like it's for sure them. I've been seeing my horse a lot. He's been coming to visit. So, yeah, but he's looking good. He's looking real good.
Yeah. I actually had a phantom cat. I don't remember where I was, but I was like, I got to tell Abby about this. But I had a phantom cat rub up against me. You could feel it like rub up. And I knew there was like a cat. And I was like, that's so cool.
That is cool.
You could feel it. I even looked down and was like, there's nothing there. That's really cool.
Yeah. Cool. Was it there? Was it like at your apartment?
I don't remember. Where I was, but I was like, it was so cool. I swear maybe I was here, but it wasn't my cat. He's been really weird lately, guys. He's just been like jumping up on my desk, doesn't want me to be on my computer, doesn't want me to do anything, but just
he wants you to rest. He's trying to tell you, like, just chill out. And
that's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm probably going to sleep today. I'm probably going to sleep another 11 hours. Oh, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yes. We have the first quarter moon coming up, though, tomorrow. And that's like the first real crunch time of this new moon that we had in Cancer. So it's like the first time we're feeling like the pressure to get things moving and get things going and like push on with our goals and whatnot. I actually set a goal and I'm working on my goal. Yeah. And I'm doing a good job of staying on top of it. Well, it's the ISAA podcast that we're in developing stages with. So I got my outlines. I like a structure. I like having like an outline. I like having things I can go off of. Even if I don't use it, it's like a little safety net for me. I'm like, I got something I can just like, if my brain decides to go over here instead. So, and it does quite often. It's hard to stay like on focused and on task for me. So, I just like to get organized, get everybody's ideas, have a good, just it'll help me move on with this project. So, and I don't know, maybe I just think too, just having, outlines drawn up and plans and have it all structured. Like, people who might be a little apprehensive about joining might be like, oh yeah, that's easy.
You mean like guests and stuff on the show?
Yeah, guests. I know. Like Sidereal astrology is really something that is picking up popularity and is new. So not a lot of people, you know, are doing it, and not a lot of people, you know, feel confident like joining a live and talking about it and what they know. And literally, it's just the same thing as what you've been doing. We just use the real sky. So I think it just helps to say that, because some people get insecure. They're like, oh, what about the seasons? What about this? What about that? And it does shake you when you finally like discover this mode of astrology, this way of doing astrology, because you're like, well, what else did I fall for? What else is like not real?
Yeah.
So I think it's just, for me, it's like a nice way to get over that and know that, you know, what I've learned over the last 20 something years about astrology can still be applied, but some of it is absolutely erroneous. Like I really don't like the, you know, personally, I don't like the way that Tropical describes Gemini. And I don't like the way it describes Capricorn. They make them seem like they're cold-hearted, you know, big dickhead energy, like it's awful. And if you were ever effing with a Gemini, they're going to cheat on you. They're going to control the situation, all this shit. And it's funny because if you think you've dated a Gemini, they're actually a Taurus. So, I mean, you think about it, it's like you're really attaching these things onto other signs that, you know, it's just, it's a weird, like, I don't get it. It's hard to explain, I guess. You're 30 degrees behind. Or ahead. I don't know what they're doing. But I mean, if you're going to base it off experience, which a lot of, you know, astrologers do, I had this experience with this person, so that makes them, you know, this sign this way. And that's just,
a lot of people
I'm discovering that's just not exactly how it works, especially with
you gotta
stuff.
Plus, most people have a very superficial knowledge of a person's chart, and they make those assumptions based on the sun sign. And there are so many things that could be making a person behave a certain way.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't really think there's a promiscuity constellation. I mean, I guess we could say if there was one, maybe Aries, because as you guys may or may not know, this was probably the back half of the bull, which means that's where the bits and pieces were, you guys. So bulls in Mesopotamia were known that they were right. They were celebrated for their virility, their masculine prowess, so to speak. In which case, anywhere I could see like Taurus maybe having more higher libido, maybe, but it doesn't really bear out. If I'm being honest with you guys, usually, now this is probably wrong. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but in my 26 now? Is it 26 years? Working in either doing astrology or psychic work or whatever it was, spiritual counseling, all that stuff. Usually promiscuity comes from an emotional lack somewhere that starts in like childhood. And it's like you're trying to fill the void with either pleasure or companionship or, something. I don't think that is not something I think that is naturally found in the constellations. I think that it's something that happens, like it's not a default. We'll put it that way. Now I could be wrong, but I haven't seen there are some constellations like Aries does have a ton of sexual energy, but this is creative energy. This is not necessary. It doesn't have to just be, oh, well, you're just banging everybody. Like that's not, it doesn't have to go there. Same thing, Gemini energy. And like you said, Nikki, these people are probably like Tauruses or something. They think they're Gemini or whatever. There's a mismatch up here. Yeah. That is going to be, at least in the Mesopotamia system, that's going to be like that higher emotion, like the need for love and joy, possibly depending on the situation. But again, I think people project far too much, but a lot of these tropes that they keep, just rolling out for everybody, they just parrot the same stuff over and over and over again. All these YouTube astrologers in particular, I'm sure on other platforms too. excuse me, but they're just repeating the same stuff that's been rolled out over and over and over and over again every single year, every single season. And it's just like, come up with something new, or at least explain why this is, and don't use the faulty locations, because that's not where, that's definitely not where things are.
I've definitely seen Gemini turn up as like an extremely like emotional and caring sign. Like it's not this cold energy where they're hiding their emotions. Like, yeah, they may not express their emotions, like depending on where their moon is and what's going on with all of that. But I mean, there's definitely a deeper need to want to be connected to people and you know, feel a connection. Like there's not, I don't get the whole cold thing. I just never met one
at all.
That is super cold and hides their feelings and are two-faced and always has like some evil plan, you know, like, oh, I got an evil plan.
I don't get the whole like duplicity.
I can see that. Like,
always bring up the of two minds. I don't get that. Like I never really saw it, so I don't know. But that comes from, that's like a classical, you know, association. So I don't know.
I can see the, you know, changing of minds, you know, like making choices. Like I connect, you know, Gemini with the tarot, and I think about the tarot cards and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it is really about making choices too, you know. You can change your mind, you know, you can get more information and think about things differently. And that's kind of, Gemini's been known to be a gatherer of information, you know, and intelligence, and makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, when you think about it,
an intellectual,
you know,
element
being
to it,
soldiers, you know, they kind of want to make sure that they have, you know, in the constellations, you know, they originally two soldiers, you know, they want to do their recognizance. They want to make sure they know where everything is, what's going on, who's doing what. You know, guarding their feelings well, because when you open up to somebody, you know, they don't want to get hurt. I don't blame them. Nobody wants to suffer or be hurt.
Right.
Okay. It's just part of the human experience. And no matter what we do to try to protect ourselves, it comes. It's there, unfortunately. Yep. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Trish has a bunch of stuff in the comments. I love the story about Inanna. Thank you for sharing that with us. You are very welcome. It's my pleasure. Especially when it comes to relationships, it's immediately soul recognition, and I won't date anyone where that isn't recognized. Good move for sure. I can't even bring myself to be attracted to them. Yeah, like it's hard to get attracted to somebody you don't have a connection to. I don't get it. I don't know.
Oh my God, that is so real. That is really real. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah. Trish also says, I have premonitions in my dreams. I paraphrase. I dreamt of pregnancies and my miscarriages before they happen. Sorry to hear that. That sucks.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. When you
Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, oh, that just sucks when you know something's gonna happen. You dream about it, and you're like, oh, I hope it's not prophetic.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Sprout Queen says, second Saturn return for me right now. Saturn stations direct in November on the same degree he was in when I was born. Changes are coming in my life. But not here yet. You're probably should be feeling the transition, I would imagine though.
Yeah.
Saturn. So right now, Saturn being in Pisces, that is a very, at least again in the Mesopotamian system, that is spiritual, artistic, innovative, teaching, wisdom, knowledge, all that. Like stereotypically spiritual stuff does resonate with the career with Saturn and Pisces. So that's interesting if I'm reading that right.
Yeah, that is. I kind of like Saturn and Pisces. I'm not gonna lie, even though
I like Saturn and Pisces for sure. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
it's definitely intense, but I like it there.
Definitely brings up a lot of those spiritual themes, a lot of that spiritual stuff. And with your second return, it's got to be, I don't know, pretty empowering, wouldn't you think? Did you feel like?
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd feel like, hey, I've been doing this. This is my second round around the wheel here. Like I got the hang of this.
Trish says, I have telepathic communication with my ex. It's not intentional. Yeah, that sucks. It just happens, and it's torture at times because we are not we are no contact separation. It's a counterpart connection. Yeah, but this goes back to once you swap fluids with somebody, okay, like now we have a very real sacral chakra connection to another person that is very tangible. This is something energetic, and it is really, really, really difficult to break out of that. Good luck.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how to do it other than just strengthen the chakras. You know, lock in the meditation, because like that sucks for real. Trish says,
time helps though. Time does help. Like it's been almost a year since I, left my long standing relationship, and I finally feel better. I think it just takes time. You can do cord cutting stuff, but I mean,
I've tried it all. I'm 10 years out, and I still get creepy dreams about him where he's like pouting, and he's like trying to get back together with me, and he's always trying to convince me that my current child with my husband-ish is his. They're so creepy, and I know that's what it is. Anytime it's so creepy, but that's that connection, okay. I usually what?
Oh, I was gonna say, I finally got a bag of clothes back from my ex. I stopped to get the paperwork, like we were doing paperwork. And he's like, oh yeah, and I finally got it back. And it was so great because it was like everything kind of just like you could feel that final.
That's a real energy. Yeah.
Final. Like it just felt so, I was like, I knew you had some of my stuff. Like I just knew it, because I was like, why are you like, cause I would have dreams and I'm like, this is cut off. This hasn't been. So yeah. And one of my buddies who I read for, my coworkers, he used to be into like dark magician shit. And you can look at his chart. You're like, oh, you were really into this for lifetimes. And he was like, I know he's got something of yours, like a stone or something. That's how he's effing with you through your dreams. And I was like, oh, you're probably right. And once I got that bag of stuff back, though, it was just this final. I loved it. I was like, yes, this is amazing. Feels good.
We need more of that.
So maybe there's something there with that. Maybe, you have to get rid of the things that he has or that you have that remind him of him, or,
I don't have anything. I never think of this dude. Never, ever,
Do you think that he maybe has something of yours that he's holding on to, and that's how he keeps the connection going? But you don't seem like the type of person that would be attached to things.
I had 16 pregnancies with him that failed. That's chakra connection to the extreme, that's a very real tie. So he doesn't have to have my stuff. That's like that's different. Like deep energetic connection. But I haven't had him. He hasn't popped in a month or so, but I really went deep into my meditation. So I'm assuming that's basically, but I mean, I've done every ritual, every cord cutting, that stuff LaTanya talked about, like all of it. Yes, it didn't matter.
Latanya's but again, amazing, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. But again, like if you have the more, that type of connection you have to someone, they have it in, and it can be really hard to get rid of them. But, like I said, it's getting better. So that's a plus. Trish says, I usually have dreams of black and white animals. Are they tuxedo cats? Because I have those dreams too. Trish is definitely feeling the quarter moon pressure, and also says, I only follow Sidereal Astrology with tarot readers who are educated in that as well. Awesome. 12C12. Hi, welcome. I'm a Cancer 3 life path. I don't know anything about numerology, so you're going to have to tell me what that means. Say something about July. No, I think that's just regular numerology, right? Or maybe it is. I don't know, you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Something about July Cancer 3 life path. I can't give you insight on it because I don't know what a 3 life path is. I have a very specific knowledge base. So like I just don't know what it is. I'll subscribe when you say something about this. Okay. Well, you got to tell us what it is. You don't have to, there's no pressure to subscribe. We're either speaking your language or not. Sprout Queen says, I've learned a lot in the past 58 years.
Yes.
Well, good. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, I like Saturn returns. Saturn returns is you're leveling up. Everybody, they don't have to suck. Like if you do the stuff that your chart's telling you to do, your natal chart is a roadmap to just having the best life ever. If you do all that stuff, your Saturn returns are like taking a giant leap forward. So a lot of people don't do that. They basically get sucked into the zeitgeist, and they end up just working themselves to death. And then it takes them to Saturn returns to be like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be, like I have this purpose, I have this other stuff. So yeah, things fall apart first in those situations, but that's because Saturn's there to be like, look, I'm here to teach you how to be successful. Like, let's do this already. And sometimes you got to burn some bridges and break some things to get to that point.
Yeah.
So
it's about stepping into your personal power. I mean, at that age too, and I'm already like almost there. I'm like 42 and I already don't give a shit. Am I like, no,
yeah,
no.
Right.
So so at 58, it's like base drop. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. We're going to do things my way now. So I hope that's what you got going on, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Trish says, oh, what happened? Hold on. Oh, come back.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Trish says, yeah, they did studies showing that person's saliva can affect your mental health because there are specific markers in the imbalanced flora. Yeah, like biology is real. I mean, as real as anything else, I guess we could say. And those interactions that people have, they have an impact on you. So that's why, and I know me and Nikki both go on about this. Like we go off on the rabbit hole and the tangents and be like the hookup culture is destroying people and they have no idea. It's hitting you physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. Yeah.
It's draining them. They have no idea what it is that's going on.
It's fracturing them as people. Like they're becoming fragmented and they're not even whole people at a certain point. Yeah. I remember go ahead.
No, you were gonna say, I remember.
So you're from a Catholic family and neighborhood and town or whatever. I'm sure you've heard the trope about like your virginity is like sticky tape, and the more people that you do it with, like the tape loses the stick. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you heard that one before?
I know what you mean, but I never was preached that. It was always
okay.
They wanted me to be a nun, like, so I don't know what it's like they didn't even pay attention to what I was doing or what I was doing. So it was just this like purity thing.
Well, there's
like, no. So there's a lot of shame around, sexual activity and things like that. So,
and that's not good either. That's definitely not good. Yeah. But there is something to not necessarily the virginity side of it, but just the sexual intercourse does have an energetic and spiritual impact on people, which is completely, brushed aside. So, and I know a lot of people don't have any say in the matter. Some people have been assaulted and, there's a lot of different scenarios where people don't have a choice. And I would categorize those into like completely different situations because you're not giving the power away. It's being taken from you. You're not giving the energy away. It's, it's not like a mutual exchange. But this is a whole topic. We could probably go into it and we probably, people will not like it. It's not a popular opinion.
No, it's not. We've talked a lot about energy and energy exchange and reading energies. And you get into like this spirituality. And I mean, I was telling my daughter the other day, just laughing because I'm like, I've never had a dead person come to me and grab me and be like, oh my God, you got to get the hell out of here. This is a matrix. You're gonna die. Or like freaking out. Never. They're always like the coolest cats. They're always like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all blissed out. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you're freaking out over nothing, man. It's just not even like what you think it is. And I'm like, all right. I guess I trust it. I mean, you talk to
it's not just you, it's every medium. I mean, I guess there's some mediums who talk to aliens or something. I guess I don't know that they would agree, but aside from that, the general consensus among mediums is that it's pretty awesome over there. All of the people, all 100% of the people, the dead people I talk to in my readings are like, no, it happened exactly the way it's supposed to be. No regrets. Everything's great. Don't worry about anything. There's no, like you said, there's nobody being like, it's a matrix. Don't go to the light. Nobody ever says that, you know.
Nobody ever says that. And we don't talk enough about like deja vu, dreams. Like you're still a working entity on the other side and you're still here. Like it's a weird way to talk about it, but you're a complex light being, and you can be fragmented and in different areas of wherever all at once. So you could be living lives in the southern hemisphere. We could all have double lives. We don't know. We don't know what goes on over there. It's called
split incarnation, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just spirituality and things around it have been so stuffed down and so, I don't know, like just perverted, I guess. I mean, we just haven't been able to have these open conversations about spirituality and what it means to other people, because we have all these other ideas about like this ominous one God who's just going to punish your ass for whatever it is he like made you for. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. And I, I don't know, but some of us are just always going to have that in the back of our heads. Like, well, what would God say? What would this? What if there isn't a mean old man in a white beard up in the sky who's just pissed off at you because he made you, and God damn it, you're just not doing anything right. And if you don't know what it is you're not doing right, well then God damn you even more. We're sending you to hell. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any
sense. Yeah,
Nope.
I just feel like whatever created you, whatever is that power is, absolutely loves you. There is no doubt about it. We choose to be here, whether we are okay with that, fact or not. We choose it. And it could be because we just don't remember where it is we come from. All of us come from different parts in different areas. Like, I could be from like Wisconsin, and you're from, Michigan, different states. It's just different areas, different levels, different spiritual stuff. I mean, doesn't make it any, it just makes it more complicated because people don't really talk about it. And they're like, well, that's not what I believe. I believe we aren't reincarnated. This is just the one life, and that's all you get. And like, that's kind of,
well, the evidence
boring.
Evidence doesn't bear that out. It just doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of boring and like, I don't know. I just try to avoid, as somebody who's dealt with a lot of depression and weird things and stuff like that. I don't want to sit and think about life in such a negative way that I can't live it. That all I think about is, oh my God, I didn't choose this. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. And it's just like this victimhood mentality that comes from hurt and pain and not dealing with the shadow stuff,
Yep.
Having to dig deep. It's just a big circle. It all comes back around to, what are you avoiding? What feelings are you avoiding?
Yeah,
I don't know how I got on this tirade about spirituality and stuff. I think I'm just thinking of the Ola video we just keep getting comments on. And I'm
like, do you see the newest
one? I just read you have insane coping mechanisms or some shit like that. I'm like,
the person's like, you're getting triggered. It seems like the hosts were triggered. I'm like, we weren't triggered. We were surprised. She's charging $500 for astrology readings and saying that astrology is a part of the matrix and she doesn't believe in it. Like, if somebody comes on the show and starts talking about that, it's our responsibility to be like, whoa, hold on. Like, you gotta give us.
It's called having integrity. Okay. It's called having an ethics and integrity when it comes to using astrology as a healing mode of therapy and what have you. People make life decisions based on astrology. So I just,
and like, it's also just, even if you're doing it for entertainment, like, be honest about it, for God's sakes. Like, we're talking about Ola Walney, you guys. There's a whole episode with her. It was amazing for like a ton of reasons, but
dude, I thought it was great. I was like, oh man, I made a friend out of somebody that I didn't even like agree with. This is so cool. And then I like found out she like her and her followers definitely don't like me. Whole thread dedicated to not liking me.
It's all, and I'm like, how Niki interrupted. Niki talked too much, but like Niki was bringing up solid points. Like astrology helps people. Why, like that was her whole point. She was giving examples. I think part of it is, one, a lot of those people are culty and they're going to say whatever they, whatever they can to.
They're comfortable in their victimhood. Somebody else is responsible for this and it's not me. That's some.
Yeah.
That's some. That's what I've read in some of them. I'm like, okay, so if you want to believe that you're being controlled by an evil matrix and you have no like whatever about it, no say.
Yeah,
go ahead. Pay the money, go on the trips, give her everything you got, like sell all your shit and give it to the cult, if that's what you need to
Yeah,
I don't
know.
The
other thing too is they just expected her. So she normally goes on these podcasts and they just let her go. It's an interview. Well, you guys know when we have guests, it's not an interview so much as it is a conversation. We give them a little bit of background time, like tell us about you, but now we're going to have like an intelligent conversation. So I don't know. I think that was the first time that lady has ever gotten any pushback at any point in her career, and people were upset about it. But hey, you know what? Got a lot of
I was so nice. I was actually excited because I thought, oh my God, I made a friend. And then I found out I didn't make a friend. I made lots of not friends. It doesn't hurt my feelings though, you guys, because I worked in the mean girl industry. All right. I already know what it's like to have strangers not like me. I don't care. It actually I don't know. It just makes me feel really fun and good and happy. Like, oh, you were paying attention. Oh, it lit something up inside of you. So that's amazing. That's really good.
I thought it was a great conversation.
Why?
I had a ton of fun. She'll never come back on the show because we won't just let her, say bad things about astrology for obvious. Like you can say it,
you're never.
You have to back up. She didn't have any evidence. She couldn't cite her sources. She's not like English isn't her native.
At the end of the video, guys, I'll spoil it for you. At the end of the video, I go, fine. What is it? What is it that gets you out of the matrix? Because, we've been talking to you for like 2 hours is what I'm thinking. And like, what is the answer? Her answer was, you have to wait until you die. And then you don't go into the light.
Yep, that's it.
Because it's the moon, and the moon is a matrix like machine that's going to steal your soul.
There's a soul box that steals your soul. Yeah, it was really bad. It's hard too, you guys, because people, they don't realize they're quoting Zechariah Sitchin or Zechariah Sitchin, however you want to know. And like that, like he's and I don't want to call him a fraud because he is technically a scholar. He did speak Hebrew, but he misrepresented the whole Sumerian connection, the whole ancient alien. So like when people start bringing that stuff up, it's not going to fly. And like, I can't just sit here and not say anything about it. So it was fun. You guys go back, watch the video. If you get a chance, like it's definitely worth watching. Sprout Queen says North Node in Aries, 9th house too. So timing of me diving into astrology makes sense. It's always a great time to dive into astrology. Trish Farrell says, did you get your clothes back during Mercury retrograde, Lal? Did you? Niki?
Did I what?
Your clothes? The clothes from.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It was during
retrograde.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the end. This is the end. I got my shit back. I didn't even know it was gone.
That is good.
It was like symbolic.
Awesome. Yeah. Trayton McLean says, hey y'all. Hey Trayton, how are you? Trish Farrell says, I'm very sorry, Abby, miscarriages in parentheses. No worries. I think about it every day because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have my current child and it would be a whole different universe, whole different lifetime. So no need to be sorry. It was a vitamin D deficiency, you guys, just so you know. Doctors did exploratory surgery, saw like 12 different doctors. Nobody tested my vitamin levels. So you can guess how I feel about doctors just from that. Trish says, agreed. I'm celibate after I walked away from that connection. Yes, that's all, like you're not missing anything, probably. Referring to the hookup culture, yes. JH says, can you explain the vertex? I have the Venus-Jupiter conjunction exactly on my vertex. It's also right on Sirius. The long and short of it is the vertex is a fateful indicator, which means that it's going to make your Venus-Jupiter conjunction that much more intense. I will tell you that this is if I can make any guarantees in life, this is a twin flame guarantee. May have multiple twin flames. We're not just talking about the basic soul connections. We're talking about taking it to the next level, for better or worse. Congratulations. Trish Farrell says, hi, Trayton. Hi, Trish. Michael Hardigan says, hi, Abby. Hey, Nikki. Hey, everyone. Lyle just got here. Never boring conversation with you, ladies. God knows what you just walked into. We don't know where you jumped in. It could have been a disaster. Hi, Michael. Trish says, yeah, I watch a lot of... Yeah, yeah, for real. Because out of context, some of these conversations are probably pretty crazy. Yeah, I watch a lot of NDEs. The general consensus from them is how much love and understanding there is. Absolutely. Michael Hardigan says, it's culty. Oh, she's never been checked. 100%. She's never been checked. Oh, that's must have been where you jumped in, the Ola stuff. Trish Farrell says, Michael, wow, I hope you share your story with others. They're so important. Thank you for telling me. Trayton says, astrology really does help people because it affirms things natural within you that others in your immediate surroundings can deny or try to destroy. Absolutely. When you're doing it right, it's going to line up exactly with your intuition. Like if your intuition's like you're actually listening to it. I think that it's a perfect representation of what you're intuitively feeling and what you intuitively know you're supposed to be doing in your lifetime, whether that's through the prediction, even like, relocation, where am I supposed to go? It's almost always the place you feel drawn to go. That's where it's going to show up the best astrologically too. Michael Hardigan says, ooh, wow. One can speak Hebrew and still be from. Yeah, I know. But I don't want to discount, like he did do some research and stuff, but he, there's a reason he doesn't cite any of his sources. He doesn't tell you which tablets he's pulling from. He does some pretty shady stuff. Trish says, I wonder if Ola is watching this right now, grabs popcorn. That would be fantastic, but I doubt that she is. You know what? She doesn't have any articles on her website. She doesn't have any written work at all, which is really hard to, which would be fine, but she also doesn't have a podcast of her own. She just goes on these different shows. So it's really hard that's why we were so surprised, because we're just going based on, technically some of my clients were like, hey, you should talk to this Ola Walney. She does Babylonian astrology. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I totally want to talk to this lady. And then she gets on and she's like, yeah, it's all the Matrix and it's evil, basic. She didn't say evil. She may have said evil, but that was what she was trying to impart. So like, why are you charging people $500 for reading? It just doesn't make any sense. Michael said, couldn't care less myself. Agreed. Trayton McLean says, interesting because I'm getting rid of clothes during this Mercury retrograde. Awesome. Yes, he did have an agenda, Michael. He had a very big one and he made a lot of money. His estate probably still makes a ton of money. I don't know who has the rights to his books. The 12th planet, you guys, is awesome. Like, it's so wrong. Like, it's so inaccurate, but what a great read. Like, if you don't know anything about, even if you do know things about Mesopotamian astrology, it's still fascinating to hear some of his takes. What's interesting is I actually agree with a lot of what he talks about with the Enuma Elish, which is the Babylonian epic of creation. And he talks about how Tiamat, the mother goddess, very well may have been an actual planet somewhere, what is now the asteroid belt. And as Marduk is slaying her, he basically clubs her in the head. Her head falls off. And this becomes the moon, and it gets pushed into, that's how we got the moon in our orbit. It's actually the remains of this other battle that took place. But I say this, and I could probably do a whole thing on that in itself, because it is really interesting. There are other references in the Babylonian record that specifically talk about these planets being pushed out of their orbits or leaving their station. And now you could say, so Sumerian astrology is more like a proto-astrology. Like, we have to glean a lot from like the mythological record, from the lexical record, things like that. But by the time of Babylonian astrology, there was no ambiguity. The planets and the gods were basically one and the same, which means that when they say like it left its place in the heavens there, and it caused the earth, they specifically say that Jupiter leaves his place in the heavens and it causes like all these earthquakes. That's what causes the deluge, and it starts to make all of the other it moves the other stars out of their orbits. It specifically states this. So there are multiple references throughout the Sumerian record, whether that comes from the Babylonians or Assyrians or the actual Sumerians, that the planets, they were observing the planets and they were moving, and they may have moved around. Now, this falls into what Immanuel Velikovsky put forward in...
I was trying to remember the name of his book. I was reading that one.
Worlds in Collision.
That was
there's another one.
Very interesting.
Yes, there's another follow-up to it. It's phenomenal. It's just packed with detail. If you guys, it caused a lot of problems, and they really tried to shut that guy down, which is a good sign that he was onto something. And since then, like, and more
you're seeing it all come out now. They're like, even the moon landing. Okay, people are like, well, why wasn't this last one televised like the other one? And then they show the televised version of that. And I'm like, that really happened? Shut up. That's a guy on a wire. That's not even real. Like, how do you get the camera out there?
Not only that,
shots and angles. I'm like, wait a minute. I never even thought it was fake. I was just like,
the feed that they show people is actually, they had a camera facing another, like a TV with the actual feed. And then the TV stations all got to just point a camera at the TV feed, and it looked even worse. Like, it was terrible. So yeah, you guys don't buy the moon landing for a split second. The whole thing is shady from start to finish. They're like, well, where's all the footage now? Like, where's the originals? Oh, we don't have it. Well, what about the original pictures? Oh, we lost them. Yeah, the greatest achievement in human history, you just don't have any more of it. Come on, I'm so sure.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Because we have this Mercury retrograde going through Cancer, and it's got the Pluto opposition. Like, all these secrets are coming out. You get the MLK papers, JFK. They're like, anything but the Epstein list. We'll give you anything. I'm like, well, could you legalize a few things? It would really help me out. Maybe that'll be next, because they're avoiding everything but the Epstein thing. Also, we have that cool Atlas comet, supposedly comet. Maybe it's
when's that?
Interstellar object. I don't know. I was reading about it yesterday, and then I hopped on YouTube to see what other people were saying. And some people are saying it's just a interstellar object, and other people are saying it's aliens. So I don't know. That'll be interesting to check out. But they said that what's interesting is that how it's traveling and where it cuts through and then uses, like, I think the sun to take off is like something that we would do, or that they've done with like satellites and using like gravitational pull and all of that. Yeah. So it seems very strategic in how it's passing through. So it's not just some random object, but I guess we'll keep our eyes open on it. So
I'll have to.
I know they keep the whole alien stuff teasing me. Like, don't tease me anymore. Like, just stop. Like, either they're here and you show up and I can see something in the sky or whatever. Just stop, like, blue balling us. Like. Sorry, I don't know how else to say it. But it's like, show me. Like, I want to know now, or I'm tired of getting.
There's no nice way to put it. Yep.
No, all the movies, like all the television shows, it's like they've prepared us. I'm like, come on, I grew up watching Star Trek. Let's get on with this already.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Like, just do it already. But they're gonna roll it out when they want to do something real naughty. That's when they're gonna roll it out so that we all look in the other direction and we start looking at the sky.
See, that's what I know. I'm like, what if it's all fake and there's not even really anything going on? There's just like another
stuff, no, there's real stuff. There's for sure real stuff.
I'm disappointed over here.
You're already disappointed. Michael says, yeah, I buy that Tiamat idea could be true. Me too. I think that's very possible. There is, I think it's called Phaeton theory, and it's something, it has something interesting, or it has data to support it, that the asteroid belt was at one time a planet. It had to have been a planet. They don't have any other explanation
absolutely.
for it. They had to have been. Do you think it was a massive ejection from the sun or meteor impact that pushed these planets out? I'm not sure.
Velikovsky thinks that like these gas giants actually produce the planets, right? Isn't that what his theory is? Is like these objects will spit out of Jupiter or Saturn, and like that's how that happened. And there was actual, was it the Aztecs or something? Like they had actual like documentation, like old stuff. I can't remember. Now I can't remember what I read.
Everybody has a story about the birth of Venus. Like everybody has one. And they talk about her being born with long, fiery hair. Now, there are times when Venus, like the planet Venus, actually has an electromagnetic tail that can sort of be visible.
Yeah.
If it was, we could talk about this forever.
I know. It brings you right down to like the electric universe theory.
It absolutely does.
These guys are. It's like,
yeah,
it's so cool. I love it.
So, okay, let's say, without going down the entire rabbit hole, let's say that space is not just a vacuum, which I think most people are coming around to this idea of plasma cosmology, where there may or may not be an electric charge to these objects. So if we have a plasma ejection and there's other material and debris and it solidifies inside of a planet, so like Velikovsky said, maybe Venus was ejected from Jupiter, and that's what left behind the great red spot is like the storm, and it's basically the remnant from that. And then in this process, so like the planetary body's moving, and as it's getting settled into its orbit, it's going to be perturbing some of the other planets. It could, and not just Venus, but any planet that this is happening to. One of these objects could bust into another planet that would have been, what's the guy's name? He basically predicted where all of the planets would be electromagnetically, but I can't think of his name right now. Based on like harmonics and stuff. But anyways, if that happened, not only that, there would also be an electromagnetic discharge on these planets. Now there's that, what is it called? The big scar in Mars that no geologist can account for. You guys know what I'm talking about. Is it?
It's like a trench. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like it scars the entire side of the face of Mars. Well, that is actually the exact position of it. I would bring it up, but I'm going to crash my video card, you guys. I can't do it. It's exactly what you see in the lab with electrical discharge patterns. It comes in like almost a spiral. So you see the flat line, and then you'll see it spiral one side up, one side down. And this is because electromagnetic currents are actually, they loop around each other. So they're like go like this inside of each other. And if you cut one in half, when you see it, it creates this spiral type of pattern. So this would make sense if, there's a passing planet and it creates this giant electrical discharge. And you guys, that thing is huge. It is enormous. And it would also most certainly strip out the atmosphere. It could cause all kinds of problems. We see similar discharge like different times on the moon. Now there are asteroid impacts and stuff. But a lot of it, if you think about this, okay, so we see the side of the moon that's really, really messed up, okay? We have this tidal lock with the moon, and it's just gouged out from every direction. Well, a lot of those craters are actually like perfectly even, okay? So you figure the back side of the moon, the dark side, has a lot of little craters. And this too can be from electrical discharge because the impact does not create like an ejection debris field. It goes straight down, which is what you see with electromagnetic discharge. But if you think about it, the Earth is in front of that face of the moon. And then if all these asteroid impacts are coming from behind us, why isn't the Earth getting hit with these things? Why is it that the front side of the moon looks way more messed up than the rest of it? Well, this could have happened if the Earth, or excuse me, the moon was somewhere else in the solar system, kind of like what we said with Sitchin, where he says that, this was basically either Kingu or one of the, the part of Tiamat, whatever. If that happened at a different time, and then it comes in and gets, its title locked with the earth. But basically, there is a lot going on. And like we said, all these other cultures talk about the birth of Venus. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. So I'm not going to put money on it one way or another, but I definitely know that there's no evidence that the accretion theory, the standard model of how planets are made, that they just kind of like slowly coalesce, and become a planet over time. There's absolutely no evidence. They can't reduplicate it. They haven't seen it happening anywhere else. It's almost certainly not what's going on. The plasma ejection, like the debris, either from the sun or either from these other planets, is probably what's happening now. Some people are like, well, how could this debris come out from the sun? The sun is like super hot. Well, the sun's only super hot on the surface and even hotter in the corona. The farther down into the sun you get, the colder it gets, which if it's just a giant nuclear reaction in space, that should not be the case. But that's why it's dark. When you look at a sunspot, there's actually like a breach on the surface where you can see the magnetic energy going in, and it's actually dark in there because it's colder. So this is another thing. They're just like, don't look at that. These people are crazy. It's a conspiracy
Don't look
theory.
at the sun. Don't look up. Don't look at the sky, guys. Just trust everything that's in this book.
Yeah. So who knows what's going on inside there? The Thunderbolts Project on YouTube has a ton of videos. They have a website, they have books, they have documentaries. They have a ton of engineers, physicists, all kinds of people way smarter than me and way more knowledgeable on this topic. Definitely go check them out.
They share a lot of really good info. Like there's actually lightning in space, you guys. There's lightning happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so that tells you it's electromagnetically charged. It tells you that. When we know that we can have free energy and we can harness that here on Earth, it changes how we look at the Earth, in a scientific way, which is really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Those theories are like, I want to know. I want to get down to the bottom of it.
I do too. Well, at least I have much more faith in this point at independent researchers than I do like establishment people. If you guys don't know, I'm in the process of wrapping up a Sumerian language book. That's why the lessons have ceased to be posted on the website, because I'm trying to get the book done first. Just going back and having to rehash some of the stuff, I'm like, these people are out of their minds. Like nobody agrees on anything. The major scholars, the Sumerian linguists who have come up with, they can't agree on anything. And so they just, you just get this consensus and like the superficial side of it. And there's so many mistrans. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So whatever you're hearing about science. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say with the scholarly stuff, we're already seeing it's more about reputation and fitting in than it has ever been about finding out the truth. And, these guys, these scientists go into the field and they want to uncover the truth, and they want, like, what is it? What is it? Do we really know? And anytime there's something like cool, they rediscover that opens us up, it's just poo-pooed on. It's really sad. Because it doesn't follow the structure that was set into place, a couple hundred years ago when we started talking about gravity and theories and whether or not the Earth is, the center of the universe or, do we travel around the sun? Like those were all things that we argued about for a really long time. So, and then we had the church involved. So it got real weird, real fast.
Sure did. Well, it was government, that's what it is. Church was the government, and not a good time for science for the most part, Still not. It's getting better, but the internet's changing everything, because now your average person, just like the printing press, like once everybody could read the Bible, all of a sudden the Catholic Church didn't have the same level of control. It's the same thing with the internet. Now that we have access to information, we can all read. We're not falling for the same stuff anymore. I'm hoping that the same thing's going to happen here with astrology, and people are going to start realizing, like, wait a second, you mean that Pluto's not where are they saying Pluto is? Aquarius.
Oh, an Aquarius. Oh, yeah, I know. I sent you a message about that. Your response was so funny. I will write an article about it too.
Yes. It was, I think it's a good idea.
It'll be a clean title though.
Okay. I like the dirty title. Trish said, is the Pleiades, spelling probably wrong. I think you spelled it. Yeah. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. That is the weapons of a certain god, right? Yes, that is Era or Nergal. That is Mars, the god of war. Do you think they are possibly part of the destructive forces that ended planets at one point? No, I think what it is the Pleiades. That's where the torrid meteor shower comes from. And I do think that it was likely based on when Taurus was where it was basically rising at the time of the end of the last ice age. I think that it may have to do with the torrid meteor shower. We got hit by some sort of celestial object, and that might have been the issue. At least as far as, because there's a lot of negative stuff related to the Pleiades, but I do think that that's just a possibly like a carryover. Trayton McLean says, I'm ready to see other life forms for real, of course, from the safety of my own home. Well, I saw him around my bed once in my home, and it was the scariest thing ever. Michael Hardigan says,
well, I think if it's like the bug looking people, like, I don't know, like there's been videos recently of aliens, and they look like bugs. They look like big giant insect aliens. And I think if I saw one of, I think I'd freak out if I saw one of those, because like I don't like bugs, man.
Nobody who's seen those ones has anything nice to say. Some people say that they're the ones who control like the tall grays and the little grays. And they say they're mean, like they don't care about people or anything. I don't know. I never saw them. I don't want to see them. That would freak me out for sure.
I don't know. I think I'd freak out. I'd grab my fly swatter.
They're tall.
Oh my
God, they're really big. Michael
they're probably
says,
really good at psychic stuff.
Interesting that Pallas Athena sprang from Jupiter's head in myth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Velikovsky mentions that too. Trayton McLean says, hey, my girl Venus entered the convo. My first house planet. Yes. That's a very empathic placement, I would say. Well, that's your 12th house, though. Okay, so first house Mesopotamian is different from first house traditional. So that's actually your 12th house in the Mesopotamian side, which depending on how close to the horizon it could take a little while for that empathic stuff to really come to fruition, but it's hard to say without looking at the whole chart. Trish says, so can we get a new planet at any time? That's so cool. I don't think that's how that works. Oh, you mean like, like not humans, but just like a new planet could come out? Yeah, that sounds good, except that it would probably screw up everything else in the solar system, in which case we would all be screwed.
Especially if it shot out at us. Like that, I think that kicked off what didn't that kill the dinosaurs or something? No.
No, that was I think that was an asteroid that they can trace that one back.
Shoot, I went too far back.
Yeah.
My timeline screwed up.
Trish, the Thunderbolts, it's Thunderbolts Project is the name of it. But if you look for Electric Universe, but go down it.
Rabbit hole, you're gonna want to fall down. Oh my god.
It's a great use of your time. Michael Hardigan got to run. Much love to all. You too. Bye, Michael. Trayton McLean says, aliens would look like bugs because even on Earth, the earliest life forms, even bacterial life, look like little bugs. Yeah, that's probably true. Like that is probably a more natural design that they would, take at some point. So I don't deny that would happen at all.
I don't know, man. I've had to kill some bugs around here lately, and like the way they squish out and. Like I just can't. I can't. Like, can't you just be like sexy aliens or something? I don't fucking know.
They got those too.
Not scary looking. Like
those are the Nordics. I don't know. They got the Nordics
the Nordics. That's right. That's right.
Or the tall whites. I think they call them.
There's only one time I thought that I might be in the presence of an alien. Okay, because this was a man who was staying at the hotel. His skin looked so weird. He just looked like a people. but there was something about him. And I don't know if I freaked him out or what, but I just kept looking at him like, you're not a fucking.
Did he have a tiny mouth?
Yeah, he was like a small person, like a little bit taller than me. Did
he have eyebrows?
The way well, yeah. I mean, he had eyebrows. He looked like a regular person, but he didn't look right, like the right kind of person. I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but I was like, you're different. You're different. You're like, you infiltrated us.
No, people see those
freaked
things
him out.
sometimes.
He's just like looking at him, like he just got uncomfortable. I'm like, something about you. And that's the only time I've ever run into somebody where I'm like, I'm not sure about you. You're not from here.
People see aliens sometimes,
you're not from here.
Or at least they think that's what they are. And they'll have like families with them, like kids and stuff, but they'll say like all of their skin was like really tight and shiny. They didn't have eyebrows or eyelashes, and their mouths were really small. And they'll say like they saw them at restaurants and like they were struggling to put like it was like they didn't know how to eat, and their clothes were real weird. Yeah, people see stuff like that all the time, and they kind of get written off because it sounds nuts, when you're on the surface.
It does. And at that time I was, I remember because I was pregnant and I just like my psychic stuff was like through the roof. I mean, I'd walk into my apartment and like my stuff would turn on, like the radio would just start blasting and turning on. Like I just had weird experiences. So I really kind of felt like there was some alien stuff going on, like misplaced time. There might have been, for sure. Yeah, there definitely was, because time got weird. Things got weird. I've never personally remembered being abducted by aliens or have seen aliens or even spaceships or anything like that. I've always been kind of jealous of people who are like, oh my God, yeah, we were driving down the road and we had like an alien encounter. And like, what is that like? If I've had them, like, I don't remember them.
Right.
If I've had them, which I'm sure all of us have had them. We had to have. I think everybody's psychic. I think everybody has like some type of level of like connection to the other side. And what if the other side is alien? What if it's the same thing? Angels, aliens, same thing.
Some people think that. A lot of people think aliens are demons, but I mean, I think that's a better. Demons are for sure not fallen angels, whatever the frick that is.
Maybe that's like a romanticism. Like maybe that's just trying to romanticize the story,
they had to. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's definitely entities here that don't like us, that don't like the fact that we can come in and out of this dimension, and maybe they're just stuck here. Maybe they're like, how the fuck do we get out? Like, and that's how we got this collider and we got all this weird I mean, it's just a theory. I don't know. Like there's definitely entities here. There's definitely a power here.
Oh yeah.
That's out like state its welcome, I think. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, it might have been here. So like might
have been here already. Yeah, right. Maybe it's like you guys outstayed. You're welcome.
So jinn in Islam, they're like basically leftover elemental things that used to live here before people, and that's why they don't like us, because they're all pissed off because they want us to go away. To an extent, we see overlap with Celtic fairies. And the whole, especially in Ireland, like the whole idea that the Sidhe, which is where Banshee comes from, that they have to go underground to basically get away from, because like people came and took over. So there's a lot of stories where prior to humans, there were all these entities just roaming the earth, and they kind of just don't like us too much. So yeah, who knows?
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, considering, I mean, I've gone into like deep meditations and trances, and I know that on the other side we can create things. It's as easy as like, and not knitting a sweater, I guess, but I mean it's really easy to mold things and make things and spin energy. I mean, I don't know, that's just what I've seen like that we can do. So we get here and it's way different. You're kind of robbed of all of those things that you're used to in spirit, and when you're connected to that, it makes coming here really hard. And I think that's really good that we have like such hardcore amnesia, Because I mean, how
Yeah.
we remember things and how it's actually playing out. This is a different playing field. You know, this is, I don't know what the playing field Earth is really, really about. I just know that it's a real honor to be here. Yeah, guys, I know it doesn't feel like it. But souls are like jumping over each other to be here. And even if it's to be in a body that's only going to be, you know, alive for just a year or two or a few years, or even just a soul that comes in and out, it's a tremendous responsibility and honor to do those things. I don't know. It's just what I get. And I don't always agree with it either, because I too am suffering under the human condition like everybody else. But it's complicated. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just been going deep into shadow work and what it is, what all of this is. Like, what is this that we're doing here? You know, you kind of question things, you know, especially seeing the whole Earth timeline go by, and you're like, but what about all of these awful things that have happened in the world? Well, we're revisiting a lot of these same awful things, these same awful stuff, and we have an opportunity to do it different. You know, when Uranus was in Taurus, I was looking this up because I was reading in one of my books about Uranus and Taurus. And obviously, they had the dates wrong. They had everything because it was tropical. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You're like, this ain't right. And I go and I look it up, and Uranus had entered, the last time Uranus was in Taurus was 1939. 1939 is when Uranus entered Taurus. And it was around the time, I think it was Germany invaded Poland. I think that's what I read. But you know, it was like the beginning of World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, it was right around there for sure.
It was right around there. And right now we have a lot of instability. You know, so our relationship with the Earth is changing. You know, Uranus was in Taurus when we dropped the atomic bombs in Japan. You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens when Uranus is in Taurus. So we can learn from history, and we don't have to have that same stuff going on. And hopefully we don't. Hopefully moving forward, we can find some sort of peace. We've even had groups, like actual groups that are Israeli, come out and say, this is genocide, and what's happening with the war here is wrong. It's evil. It's bad. Like, hello. That's not something that people were saying during the last World War. Everybody was kind of they just shut up. And they just didn't, they're like, oh, I know the US, we were like, if we ignore it, it'll go away.
Right.
And it absolutely did not. But now we have a whole world right now in you know, discussing what we do. What are we doing? What are we doing with these wars, these boundaries, you know, all of this stuff? It seems like human life is a lot more precious and held a lot more up to esteem than it has been in the past. You know, nobody's hiding behind the religious stuff anymore. You know, you can't convince anybody God wants you to do this anymore. I mean, it's kind of, we've gotten to
some
the point
people
where
are still trying, but nobody's
people are
still
trying, but that's going away. We have a whole new generation. We're looking at Pluto and Scorpio people that are coming out, like Pluto and Sagittarius people. Like, they just aren't falling for it anymore. I'm really excited for this new generation to come out. Like, they are just transforming everything. Like, I saw, like, a little off topic, but I saw it was like one of those meme videos, and it was like the new generation takes on the Karens. And it was all these like women freaking out on these like kids, and these kids are just like little psychological nightmares to these people. They just know what buttons to push.
They know how to push the buttons. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's great. I love watching that. But they are a little disconnected from like how things are, you know, have worked. But they're right to question it. They're right to say, hey, like, do we have generations of people that aren't, you know, I don't know, there's like some kind of like unbalance, inequality happening, and they're like more than willing to point it out, more than willing to say, hey, like the structures and governments and way of life, the whole dynamics of how things are supposed to go are actually really depressing and not fun. And
yeah,
the
the younger
60
generations
hours
are
a
getting
week.
Shaft. Yeah, like they're
Yeah, they don't want to work.
Massive
bullshit
debt and
concrete.
Yeah,
debt,
yeah.
No home to live in. When are you going to be able to buy a home? We don't know. So, I mean, I love it. They're really exposing a lot of what's been wrong with, how we live and what we do. And, it's not like people don't want to raise their families and work. Okay. And have something to be proud of and something to show for it. It's just become so impossible to do that. Because you're getting milked by, all of these entities that are like basically legal extortion. Like, look at health insurance, look at car insurance, and all that insurance.
How about just taxes? How about let's start
just taxes?
Yeah,
extortion.
We're just gonna take it from you, and we're just gonna blow up the military budget. That's it. Like you guys, everybody,
and we're gonna tax you 10 different ways from Sunday too. You're gonna get taxed on your income. You're gonna get taxed when you spend your income. You're gonna get taxed at the end of the year for making your income. Like, what the hell? It makes working not feel like you don't want to. You don't want to be a part of a system that's like that. Like, I'm not going to have health insurance when all of my stuff finalizes. And my doctor's like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, nothing. Like, nothing. You think I'm going to work another 30 hours a week to pay for health insurance? Like,
right.
I mean, I'll figure it out. I'll get on something.
Just meditate. Meditate or go to the emergency room and just go bankrupt like everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just... Yeah, the healthcare industry needs.
I had to take Alice. Alice busted her head the other day. It late after my calls. I thought she had to get stitches, but we took her to the children's emergency hospital, and it was like 5 minutes, and they just put iodine on it, but it was like totally free. And anytime you have to be in one of those situations, like it's so to live in a country with literally like free healthcare, like legitimately free healthcare. It's very evident that there's no reason why every single person can't have their healthcare paid for. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. It is. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, people got to stand up at some point. Maybe it's going to be the new generation. Trish says, shiny, skinny, tiny mouth people. Thanks for the new rabbit hole. You were welcome. I agree, Nikki. We are all souls and have psychic connection. I hate the whole chosen ones thing.
That's such bullshit. When I got into the spiritual community, like in my own area, I would meet psychics who were like that. Like, oh, you're special. They're not, though. And there was like some weird shit talking thing. Like, we know what we're doing, but other people don't know it. Like, I was like, everybody's psychic. What are you talking about?
Well, that's good for business. That's a selling point. That's just sales.
But that's the seventh daughter bullshit that I just don't fall for.
Yeah.
Like, you're only special if you come from a long line of psychics.
Right. Yeah. That was around when I was getting into it, but fortunately it's not really, nobody falls for that anymore. Trish also says, I love being here. I'm so grateful. Me too. Mermaids Wear Hat says, the Celtics thought of fairies as a combination of ancestral souls, ascended beings, and of course some negative beings that just had to be appeased. Originally, before the advent of Christianity, the Sidhe were the gods, the Tuatha De Danann. In my Gaelic, I have lost most of it. My accent sucks too, so I have to apologize. My Tamachuj Gaelic Gadona is terrible, but these were their deities. These were the pagan deities. So as they took on more nasty traits as Christianity kind of took hold in the region. But of course there were some nasty things too. So they, it wasn't all, like, not all the fairies were gods or anything like that. But JH says, just catching up, Vertex and the twin flame thing. I've been married 14 years, so not sure about a new love connection. Lol. Well, that could be the person though. 14 years is a long time. I don't really know anybody for 14 years at this point. Like, that's a long time to know another human being. So maybe that's it. Trayden McLean says, I'm late Pluto in Scorpio generation. Congratulations. You'll have to let us know how that's working for you. JH says, but that Saturn-Neptune conjunction's been squaring my Mars. Well, it'll be all right. It's, it's gonna, it'll move forward. Just don't hide from your emotions, face your fears. You'll be all right. Trayden McLean says, I think Uranus and Taurus is giving people the audacity to mash different resources together to make new realities for themselves. I hope so. They need to be able to.
I agree, because even titles have changed. Even the way people look at education has changed, and the way they consume information. I don't think it matters if you have a degree from Harvard anymore.
It doesn't.
I really don't. Like, titles are kind of made up.
Yep.
Like, some people have earned them. So I'll give you that. But some people, they're just riding the fake train.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is fake. Like the whole, it's a disaster. The whole thing.
Yeah, like, who deserves respect? Oh, this is like, because they have some special title. Like, where's the experience, though? I need the person with the experience.
Yes, exactly. Trish says, I feel like the latter end of Gen X did this as well in rebellion to their boomer parents. The questioned, granted it was very destructive and angry, but very necessary. Yeah, probably. Trayden McLean says, JH, I've been having an opposition with those two for a little minute now. Tell me about it. I'm tired. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
That is such a test, isn't it? Like, that whole Saturn and Neptune has just been testing me too. It's in my 8th house. So it's been about like karma and attachments and entanglements and money and all the messy stuff. So I feel you guys on that. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, that can be definitely rough.
It's like it is.
Mars squares anywhere, probably not the easiest.
Oh yeah, I've got Pluto doing that too. Pluto square my Mars.
Got that karmic connection there. Yep.
I got some stuff going on, guys. I feel it. Feel ya. I'm with you.
Yeah, for sure. Trish says, I'm so sorry, Abby, but I'm glad you're able to take care of your having with a better healthcare system. Yeah, for sure. My only concern is with centralized healthcare. They can control your body in ways that would be tyrannical. They don't hear.
Well, in the United States, that's a pretty normal thought to have, considering they have really changed made the lines pretty blurry about being a woman and how much control you have over your body. And I don't know, I think in the United States, it was very disrespectful to treat women this way and to treat us as if, I don't know, we don't have a brain in our head and can't make a decision about our bodies to save our lives. I know that there is a concern about birth rates dropping. There's concerns about, infertility and things like that in the United States. So I don't know if that's why they made that move, but
it's not, Nikki. There's at least half of the population of the United States believes that a fetus is a human being and you can't terminate the pregnancy. That's all it is. Like, there are probably some psychos who really do get off on, just like controlling people, but don't discount the religious side of things. That's definitely part of it too.
True.
That's not an issue here. The other thing too is, if you want to go to a private doctor here, you can. I actually tried to find one that was open, but it was like the middle of the night, so we couldn't, because I usually go to the private one first. It's like $20 to go to the doctor here, like to a paid doctor. So even if you do go get like private, it's still cheap. Like it's know. But so there's absolutely no reason that you guys can't have that in America too. It's messed up.
Dude, I'm telling you, I know. I get so upset about that. I'm like, come on, these doctors take these oaths. I just, and I just talked to my doc. She's like some 30-something-year-old woman, so she's just a baby in that field yet. And I'm like, wow, you haven't even seen all the weird shit yet that you're going to see. and she's like, and she even admitted, like, sometimes the rules in place keep me from doing my job as I would normally do it. And it has everything to do with money and, what insurance people have, and is the insurance company going to decide, and does the state decide? So yeah, those are really like legit concerns. I don't know, man. I really want like regular healthcare like everybody else has. I think the United States and like 2 other countries are the only ones that are like, F you people, we don't care about you.
And it's
we want your money.
Because
it's disgusting.
The United States is the richest country on earth. That you guys pay more taxes by like trillions of dollars than anywhere else. They're spending the money, they're stealing it, and they spend it on bullshit that nobody wants or needs, like endless wars, like mostly that. Honestly, the military budget in the United States, like on top of all the dark money, dark projects that they have, is, you know, like nothing even comes close to what the United States does, and that's what it is. So there's no reason for it, and until somebody stands up, you know.
Yeah, we are, because it's bogus. I was even telling my doctor, it feels like this is just a pharmaceutical visit. You know, if I don't need pills, then what are you here for?
Well,
and she was like,
part of it too. Yeah.
Because
they don't know how to fix your health. They don't know anything about that. They don't have any. They don't take nutrition classes. They don't know.
No. And in my chart, I'm the crazy person. Okay. And I had to sit there and explain to her that, no, I'm a root cause person. I don't believe taking a pill to mask it is going to make it better. And explain how I don't really care, because I'm not falling for it anymore. You know, it's nutrition. It's all the things they've been telling you guys. And, you know, it's up to you. I live in an area where people drink a lot. Okay. No matter what, it's not the alcohol that's the problem. Okay. No matter what. So it's almost like this weird like alcoholism mindset that everybody has. And I'm like, well, okay, like if you got rid of the alcohol, do you think your body would change? Do you think you would still hurt? Do you think you'd still have all these problems?
You're talking crazy, Niki.
Yeah. And it is. It's nuts. It's like nobody wants to live like that. Like I was like, what if you gave up all the fried food? What if you gave up going through the drive-through line and buying boxed meals that, you know, don't have any nutrition? No, I couldn't do that. I could never give up cheese. I love milk. I could never give that stuff up. But, you know, if you're dealing with chronic pain all the time and your joints are like this and you're always red, like why? And you're still taking the goddamn pills and they're not helping. Like, don't you think making changes would help? I have these conversations every day, you guys, and I'm telling you, the answer is no. No, I'm not going to change. Like the world has to change and I'm not going to.
That is a common thought process, and those same people are the ones who do the victim mentality. It's everybody else's fault but mine, but like they don't want to take responsibility for that stuff. You're absolutely right.
At some point you have to. There's an accountability factor, and I think that's what Saturn and Neptune are doing too. There's this like accountability factor. That's because, oh my God, Saturn, guys. I love Saturn, but sometimes Saturn's like a vice grip, and it's just like squeezing like you're gonna have to face it eventually.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna let that shit slide. Stuff. Yep.
No, never.
Nope. Trish said it could be a situation where tax dollars funded healthcare, but didn't control your health choices. That would be, like in a free society, you'd think that was the case, but.
You would think, was George Carlin right this entire time, you guys? I think he might have been. He was being funny, but it was true. Aww.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch some George Carlin later.
Like people think that they're still saying the United States is a democracy. It's a free country. You have freedom of speech, you have freedom of everything, and it's not true. It's definitely not true. No. But they're doing a good job selling people on that still. So that's why nothing really changes, because you keep thinking, well, the next election cycle, we'll get it this time. Here's the thing.
People like to be comfortable, okay? They like their cell phones. They like to be able to sit and stare at them for a long time and be lazy. They like convenience. And it's going to be a lot of work to redo a whole like society. Yeah, so everyone's looking at that like, I'll do it later.
I think
make changes later.
I think the American Revolution was only like 0.3% or something of the population rose up. It wasn't like everybody got on board and they were trying to overthrow the British. It was a tiny little fraction of the people. It doesn't really take a lot. I'm not suggesting anything, you guys. I'm just talking about history. Okay. So just putting that out there so everyone knows.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Yeah. What's next week? The new moon, full moon, full moon. We're on
full moon. Yeah, the full moon. So the sun will move into Leo, actually, and then we'll get our full moon in Capricorn. So we get a Leo Capricorn axis thing going on, which if you follow tropicals, they don't have that because they just don't. They don't follow that. So we got cool stuff going on.
They don't know where anything's at. That's why they can't follow that stuff. They don't know where it's at. All right. Well, we will. I know. We'll be here next week, you guys. Thanks to Trish, JH. Who else did we see in here? Michael Hardigan was on. Everybody else. If we didn't get
Mermaids Wear Hats. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys. Thanks so much for joining us and being a part of it. And it wouldn't be fun without you guys. So we're glad that you showed up. Right. Just talk to me and Nikki. I mean, we could talk about stuff. That's cool, but it's cool to hear everybody's take on everything. So we will be back same time. We're here every Wednesday, same time. That may change when we start the new podcast, but we'll see what happens. We don't know what's going on yet. So we'll keep it posted.
Yeah, we'll make announcements about that when that all gets sorted.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's in the beginning stages right now.
Yes.
So
but listen, next week, if you see a weird thumbnail that looks like all of a sudden we're doing tropical astrology, don't panic. Might see if we can catch some tropicalists and get them hearing like cool astrology stuff, and then only to find out that the planets aren't where they've been told. So we'll see what happens. We might try it. So you guys take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next time.